So I'm on my way to a grove of beautiful mature oak trees, really gnarly. They grow up on a sandy bluff. This is a great example of the type of trees that are up here. See if I can catch some rays, because it is just a little bit of mist in the air. Maybe we can get a little bit of sun rays coming through, and actually I can see some right there. Today we're going to visit a local oak woodland. We go for a nice hike. We get very wet, trying to catch a little bit of fog in the morning sun. We get visited by a young deer fawn. We get to enjoy a multitude of birdsong along the way. Enjoy. So we came out here today to hike up that hill. There are some super awesome oak trees up there. It's a bit of a wet morning. We were forecast for fog. Fog would have definitely helped out trying to take these pictures. That's actually the reason I'm out here. It was forecast for fog and I've been waiting for a good fog. I don't know about anybody else, but woodland photography, there's so many cool things in the trees, but there's so many trees to try and separate, and without fog or atmosphere to try and separate them, it becomes very difficult. Of course, that doesn't stop you from trying. I've tried many times. I have a whole folder full of pictures that just didn't quite work out. They look really cool, but they don't quite work out. Right now the sun's starting to come up, and now we gotta scramble up this hill. And into Fanghorn we shall go. This is a great example of the type of trees that are up here. Okay, this is unfortunate. This was a couple of the trees that I was hoping to photograph. They were old. You can see they've had some fire damage. They were hollow. The fire got up inside there a little bit. With their age and that hollow root base, they did not make it over the winter. The unfortunate thing is when that one fell, it took that one down. And that one back there is really the one that I wanted to photograph. And it is now in a tangle of branches. So, shifting gears. Let's see what else we can find. It's just a quick view of what this tree does look like. Previously it was all open around it. So what I found here is I've got this oak tree on the left and then a couple more in the background kind of leading you back in there, and then there's this big limb that kind of sweeps over top, and right below that are a bunch of bright yellow flowers. What we've got is a little bit of sunlight just trickling through the trees. And I might try to do two things here. One, I'm going to wait for the sun to get right to the edge of the tree trunk, and at f16 I should get a nice sun star. I'm also going to watch and see if I can catch some rays, because it is just a little bit of mist in the air. Maybe we can get a little bit of sun rays coming through, and actually I can see some right there. So if any of this works out, that'll be up next. So the image with the flowers did not work out. However, moving around a little bit, I was able to capture this next image with just the rays of light coming through the little bit of mist that was in the trees. And I really like this image, except that bush in the foreground. This next image, I moved over just a little bit, and it takes that bush out of the way just a little bit. Still get the light rays coming through, and now we get the sun star off the side of the tree. The trees lead you back into the image, and everything just kind of fades off with the mist and the light. So I was working quite quickly here, but again I resituated myself and just got a little different vantage point on this group of trees. Now you can see I got the line of 3 trees going back, and then the one more that's kind of filling that void back between the first two. Managed to capture the sun star off of that middle tree, almost right in the center of the image. But if you look down in the foreground and in the corners, using some filters, I cooled that grass off, because really it's in the shade there, and the light is coming through the trees and catching it. And it really brings your focus into the center of the image. And I really like this one. So the sun has gotten up quite high now, and up on top of the hill here, it's not quite as nice. I kind of dropped over the back here, and I've got this tree on the left. It's pretty straight till you get up into the limbs, but then that one limb arcs up and over and back down, and it kind of frames those couple of birch trees underneath. And then further back in, you got a couple more oak trees. And I worked on separating all the trees so there's definition between them all. There's a little bit of branches hanging down on the right hand side there, but that's all right. This image I think is a perfect example of needing some atmosphere to help enhance what you're looking at in the image. I think this also might be a good image late in the afternoon, because this hill faces directly to the west, so you might get the evening sun in there on it. This image was taken in February, I believe. There was some light fog that morning, and this image was taken just as that fog was starting to lift. So the sunlight, although it was quite bright, was still coming through the fog, and it cast this warm glow. You can see by the shadows on the trees, it's not quite direct light. So it's just got this warm glow over the image. But again, you can see how everything was burnt off, so you have a lot of exposed dirt and just the big trees that are really left. Now in this image, again, the regeneration of this woodland is just amazing. So the purpose of burning this is to help with non-native and invasive species of plants those types of plants generally aren't equipped to handle the fire the way that the native species are. We remove some of the non-natives while letting the natives flourish.